Hi again then guys, and so we've got another Sleeper Spec tune setup for you today, and this time it's for a vehicle which is slightly higher up the performance food chain, the premium-spec 2002 Viper GTS. Now, as I've said before, with Sleeper Spec tunes, for any who are new to the series, we upgrade these cars in such a way that you can't actually tell. The only major difference is, of course, that they're quicker, but the PP, the power, the weight is exactly the same as stock. And as with all of these builds, I would recommend not fitting an oil change to your car. If you already have one, then it's going to throw the whole thing off. The PP will be wrong, the power will be different, so I'd recommend doing this with a brand new car straight out of the dealership. Now, usually we do Sleeper Spec builds to vehicles with a lot of room for improvement, because you see huge differences if the car is, for instance, very heavy and big. But with sports cars, you run more of a risk of not having as much of an improvement because they're already fast, and that's certainly the case with a Viper. It's already a seriously quick and capable car. So what kind of difference are we really going to see? Well, let's find out. I've gone for sports softs on this particular build. Obviously, if you go for racing tyres, it will be even quicker. We've got racing brakes. As far as suspension, we've got the ride height on 110, which is fractionally lower than stock, but not noticeable. The springs have increased to 850 and 1025, the dampers to 4, anti-roll I've left on 3, neutral camber, neutral toe, as we often do. As we've done no power upgrades, we can come straight to the gearbox. I've got an auto setting of 205, then individual gears we've just rounded off a little bit to 3175, 2.1, 1525, 1175, 950, 800, and then a final drive of 2.9. As far as the diff, I've got, as you can see, the initial torque on 10 and acceleration and braking as high as possible, and that really helps the high speed turn in of this car. Obviously, as I said before, you want no power upgrades at all, and you don't want to affect the weight. So that's it overall for the Sleeper Spec build. Now let's, as we always do, take it out to a track to see what kind of comparative difference we get to the actual stock version. Now, as always, of course, I have put the individual comparative lap times in the description down below if you want to see those, but the difference that this did make was much bigger than I expected. I expected this car to maybe be something like half a second or a second quicker due to how quick it already is, but the difference was significant, to say the least. 5 seconds quicker around one lap of deep forest. That is no small feat. 5 seconds on a track as small as this is a huge difference, and that's with no power increase, no weight loss, no PP difference, no visual difference that most people would notice, apart from, of course, the brakes, and in a vehicle which you can pass as being completely stock if you wanted to. So, if you do decide to use this build, obviously I hope you find it fun, and it's definitely competitive for Sleeper Spec racing, and if you'd like to keep up with other builds like this in the future, of course you can subscribe down below for that, but for now, as always, thanks for watching.